through to Twitch now. Let's see. Refresh my Twitch page here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Everybody's slowly jumping in here. All right, Curtis Rhodes, welcome. One of the first people jumping in. Good to see you. All right, we'll give just a couple minutes for everybody to start jumping in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Another exciting day talking about Blender. So Comic-Con is around the corner. Let's share my screen here. Share my screen. And I'm going to share the entire screen. Cool. All right. You should be able to see Blender. And I just realized that I left my water in the room adjacent to me. So let me go grab my bottle of water real fast. I'll be right back. I am back. And the water is here. Got my trusty water. Got to stay hydrated. It's been getting hot everywhere. On that note, where are you from and what is the weather like in your area? I, of course, am from beautiful sunny San Diego, the place where the weather sucks everywhere else, including Hawaii. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. All right, we're gonna have some fun today. We just about finished the phaser. I want to show you guys something. And I want to do bridge, go to bridge to do it. Let me kind of share it with you. And let me find what I'm looking for. If I remember correctly, go over to my favorite section here. We'll let Bridge kind of cache a little bit. It's trying to cache the imagery. Bridge has been a little buggy lately. It's sometimes it's better just to go through Bridge, to go through Windows Explorer, because Bridge freezes up on me a lot, I've been seeing. So don't know why that is. And as you can see, it's still frozen here, and I don't know why. So I always end up having to just force quit it and just go through. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm force quitting Bridge because I really don't want to take the time waiting for it to figure out what it wants to do. So we'll go to Windows Explorer. Let me see. I should be able to find. I'm hoping. Let's see. I'm going to my lessons folder, which I think this is actually. Let me refresh my memory on where I saved everything. Command Shift S. It's in the Blender Projects phaser, and then over here should be a reference images folder or backup. Let's see. I've got the JPEG captures, phaser images. That's what I want to see, I think. All right, I'm going to check one of the folders too. So I want to share something with everybody. Welcome. Everybody's slowly jumping in. Welcome to the Blender 3D discussions. All right, let me go to my lessons folder. Go to my presentations. Let me see if I have the phaser in here. Let me kind of just hit the PH for phaser. It didn't go to my folders. Silly. All right, let's go up this way. In fact, it's going to be under my Twitch broadcast, right? Twitch presentations. And I'm not seeing it there either. All right. Tell you what, if I find it, I will share with everybody. I thought I had it. No, I too it. We will go check one last time in my official Blender projects folder, which is under the phaser. Should be. And just to refresh my memory, yeah, Blender projects phaser. Let's get out of here, go to the official folder, which is my 3D projects, Blender projects, and the phaser right there. Okay. All right, so JPEG captures. Let's go to phaser images. All right, so I have actually, let's go over here. I know I did put it in here too. So go to my pictures and go over to my screenshots. And they're not, I must have dumped them. Oh boy, save pictures, camera roll. Okay. I must have dumped them. All right, so forget it. I'll find it. I tell you what, I'll find it after break. I've got it. I wanted to share some of the original images. I think I shared a little bit last week, but I downloaded a whole bunch, placed them into a folder. And I know you guys have this problem too, but it's like sometimes you don't remember where you put it. You think you know where you put it. And it's like, what the heck? And if it's not there, it's like your whole mind just go blank, completely blank. So Scott Nakata, he's the guy that they use to verify the legitimacy of the actual phasers used on set for auction. Sent me a bunch of photos of the actual phasers and gave me a little bit of detail, which I wanted to show you. I'll show you that a little bit later. And brought out some information about how I created the Type 1 phaser that I might want to consider changing. Kevin, welcome. Welcome. All right, so let's go have some fun. Let me go ahead and kind of like maximize our screen here. So we're continuing on. So we're basically almost pretty much done. And if you look at this phaser here, which is the WAN phaser, the WAN company, you'll notice that the screen is pretty identical to what I created, with the exception that these holes are open. And it was brought to my attention that the actual phasers used on set, there are no holes in here. So if you see the little grid pattern here, kind of the open grid pattern with the holes, they don't exist. They're closed. And so you're talking about a solid piece with the indentation of that texture in there. And there's a couple ways to handle this. So I can either remodel this or maybe just include a back plate so that the entire thing is going to be enclosed. So what I mean by a black back plate is I modeled this from the faces off of the top of the Type 1 phaser. So I can easily just keep what I have and just copy the back place, place it behind it, and be done with that. So that if we lift it up, then you'll have a backing behind this shape. Kevin, welcome. Kevin says hello. So here, I'll put on here the, if you want to join in and share, I'm going to copy the link and I will place it into our little chat box to share live. And there you are. Okay, so if anybody wants to come on and share, you've got the link right there. Cool. Yeah, people are slowly coming in. Let's go do this here. So we're just about done. So I'll tell you what, I think I would rather do that because I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. And then what I intend to do as well is to add a subdivision surface to it to kind of round off these edges a little bit. I'm going to go select this piece here. All right, make sure that is, there we go. That's the piece that I want. So that's the wireframe piece. And if I just drag that up temporarily, right, I've got the original piece for that right back here. All right, so what I will do is, let's do this. I should be able to select them both at the same time. So this is a phaser type 1 detail and type 2 detail. I should rename this one. We'll select this one, type 1 grid. All right, and then for the backing, I'm going to call it type 1 grid backing. Spell it right. Okay, the grid backing, there we go. All right, so up here in my outliner, I've got the grid. Okay, they're all in type 1. This is good. So I'm gonna merge the two together. So let's undo that location. See if I can just put it right back down in here like so. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna grab the type 2, type 1 grid, shift grid detail. All right, and I think what I want to do also is, I don't think this is a mirror of any type, so I should be okay. So right click, and I'm going to set the origin to geometry. And I made a little bit of a mistake. Let me undo that because I had something else going here. I've got something else selected that should not be selected. There we go. Pull that on out. Okay, let's do that again. There we go. That's what I want. Bring it on up. Just kind of get an idea. See, the two are together. And just kind of getting close to kind of take a look at exactly. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to merge the two together. So control, something tells me to duplicate this first in case I screw up. All right, so I'm going to hit Shift D, right click to set it back. All right, so I've got and I'm going to kind of turn these two off, turn that off, turn that off. There we go. So these two are selected. Now I'm going to merge them together. So Control J. No mesh to. Oh, you know what? I've got to alter the mesh. Oh, damn. Okay, forget it. I'll just instead what I'll do is I will just parent them. So here, right click on this one, top one, Command and Control P, keep transform, good. So if I just select the grid, right, then they're moved together. Let's see. I've got the duplicate one down here, right? That means that one. Okay, so let's see what said. This must be the duplicate, or is it? Let's take a look at it. All right, we'll grab that. That's my grid. I'm gonna make sure I got the right thing selected here, because now let me go turn that off and on. Turn that off. Select this one. Period key will jump to the object over here. It's parented, so let's just do this. Let's take a look at it. Okay, that's it. That's all I need. This needs to be opened in here because eventually this will lift up. But let's go ahead and select these two. Let's bring it back down. So I'm going to go to the side view. Just place it back on top there. Okay. So just little nitpick stuff we have to do now. Everything's pretty much, it's looking pretty good. It's pretty much modeled. Everything's there. Let's get this right here. Let's get the nozzle here. So select it. Go to the side view. And I'm going to select the bottom one here, go into edit mode. Because we got after the nozzle is actually going to connect to the phaser itself. Select the face here. Let's hit the I key, inset. Like so. Done. Now, E key for extrude. Bring it straight on down. Get out. Go back to object mode. Select both of these because they're independent. Go back to my orthographic side view. R key for rotate. And just do that. There we go. Now that's about right. These edges are too sharp. Nothing in reality is sharp edges, which I think the subdivision surfaces is going to take care of that anyway. So let's go ahead and apply that. I'm going to go here, grab this first. Let's add a modifier. Add modifier, general sub Ds, right here. There we go. Let's get out of here, go to edit mode. Let's tame these corners. So the sub Ds are going to do, basically, the way I explained it before is kind of a combination of what you get in the CAD program and box modeling. So the two are blended together. So if I take this, add a slice, pull it on up. See, I'm going to get these rounded corners there, right? So I'm taming these edges. That's the way I like to put it. I'm going to go to the bottom, Control R, click, and I'm going to tame that edge like so. All right, and now we will go to the bottom again. And I think here what we need to do is just select the face. And if I go to X-ray mode here, oh no, we'll select the edge here. So now we have an X-ray mode and kind of pull it down so you can see what we're dealing with inside here. Control R, select it and tame those edges like so. Okay. Let's get out of X-ray mode, take a look at that. So now we're getting those rounded edges. So the last thing I need to deal with is the top, right? So go to X-ray. The best way to handle that is to go to face editing view. And because you're an X-ray, it's selecting through everything. So you got to be careful where we select. So I'm going to go from the bottom and look for the black dot right in the middle. And that's it right there, select it. So all I need to do to tame this edge is to add an inset. There's the tame, right? It's going to tame it right about there. Okay. Get out of X-ray mode. Let's go to, there we go. All right, so this part needs to be tamed down here. That's the extrusion from this piece. And I'm going to come over here to the subdivision surfaces, and we're going to start adding subdivisions. So 2 and 3. Okay, that works a little bit better. Smooths it out. See, getting those nice smooth little edges there, which is what we want. And let's go tame the edges down here in the bottom. So go back to edit mode real quick. Let's kind of pull it on out and go to X-ray so we can see what we're dealing with. So we obviously need to tame these edges in the corners. Kind of turn that off. These corners right in here. So Control R, come right in there like that. Click it and slide it like so. So let me turn off X-ray. We need to keep it on, huh? All right, we got We'll go to X-ray mode, pull it out. Okay, well, just to make it easy on you guys, I will select this and then hit Shift H. That turns off everything else. All right, see, now see the edges are nice and tame. Go back into edit mode with the tab key. Double G can slide it so I can go bigger edge. In fact, here, we'll do it this way. Double G, I can slide it to control the look of my corners, right? So pull it on in, get it a little tighter like so. I need another edge, right? Command R, tame it like this. There you go. See? Now you can say I bring this one to here. And underneath doesn't matter because you're never going to see it anyway, most of the time. So Control R here and just tame it, right? Tame those edges. Okay, now you got your good looking dial here. We're done. It looks right. We're done. Geometry's fine. Alt H brings everything back. Let's add a subdivision to this top one here. Add another modifier. Go to our subdivision surfaces. All right, so it goes crazy, right? So let's add some a couple more levels of subdivision. Let's go tame these edges. So tab key, edit mode. You know, one thing might be easier because I think it may be a global problem. Is just add not a bullet, it's a bevel. Let's see what it does. So we cascade that up. See what happens. Nothing. Okay, so I've got too much geometry inside for this bevel to affect anything. So we will get rid of it and we will do it manually then. So sometimes manually is what we have to do. So let's start with the horizontal sides, Control R. All right. All right. Oops, let me kind of turn everything off. So Control R. There we are. Slide it on up. There we go. Control R. Again, slide it on down. Another way you can handle this too. Here, I'm going to undo this and it may be faster, right? Let me go hit Control Z. Another way you can do this is Control R, put a slice directly down the middle. And then Control B for bevel and just pull it on out like this. You can do it that way too. Cool. All right. So we getting a nice little solid edge, and probably want to let's take a look at a reference real quick. Let's go back. Yeah, it was a little bit more of a harder edge in here to define these grips, finger grips on the outside. So that's easy. Control R, like this. There you go. Control R again. I'm obviously gonna have to do it on every piece. Control, and this is only 4, so it's no big deal. Control R again. There. 2 more. Just 2 more. All right, getting closer. Control R. There you go. Control R. There. That's it. That's what we want. I'm just eyeing it, right? Making sure it looks kind of right. So the thing is with the phaser, my friend, Mr. Nakata, mentioned to me is that when the hand phasers were created in Star Trek for sets, they were all individually hand created. So there isn't any exact dimensions on any of these. Okay, that's cool. That looks good enough. Take it like that. Yeah. I think that'll work. And I think this portion here will come into it a little bit more like that. Yeah, that actually is going to be printed into it. Okay, that looks good. Well, I think we're almost ready there for texture. I guess the only other thing I want to kind of address. Let me take a look at this. Let me go into the edit mode for the Type 1 phaser. Okay, yeah. The thing that I want to address is this, is that this grid part, there's an opening underneath it. Um, and I just felt like I needed to address that. And I've already got the geometry into place to where I want it. So I go to face editing mode, and my geometry is pretty much where I want it with the grid. I think I missed one over here. Go ahead and grab those over there. Yeah, there we go. So I did this intentionally. I kind of planned this out from the very beginning. So what I need to do is add a little support and just extrude it straight on down. So let's do that real quick. Because you may want to decide to elevate this screen like it does on the show. So if the user or the buyer of this 3D printed piece wants to put any of those controls in there, at least you got an opening inside in which to plan for it. At least that's the idea. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go object mode, select the type 1 phaser, shift H will hide everything but the phaser. Tab edit mode, go back. Let's just kind of focus on this, getting rid of the distractions. So my first thought is let's go ahead and let's go ahead and add a support edge. So I for inset, and just inset it like so. It's doing it individually. So what I'm going to do is hit I again, and now it's giving me what I want. So I'm going to take it to right about there. That's where I'm going to inset it. These polygons out here, so I'm going to select that one, Control and Shift held down together, all the way down. X key, delete those faces. I don't need them. Why? Because we need a continuous edge loop, like so. Okay, we need that continuous edge loop. And you can see it's opened up there, so we need to close it up. So let's go ahead and um, no, flatten everything along the x-axis. So scale for this technique, X for the axis, and then 0 for flattening it out like so. Finally, I want to make sure that this is along the 0 axis. Everything is going to be aligned along the 0 axis for X. So N key for numerics, come up here to transform. You see the X for global is not absolute 0. So put it in and boom, there it is, all done, all sealed up. All right, that's cool. Now let's go do our work. Let's go get those faces, 3 key and a keyboard. And I'm just going to click and drag and grab that interior. All we need to do. And then just E key for extrude. Boom. Like that. All right. There's our opening. I don't need these faces here. In fact, there may be another technique. Let me try this one other technique. See if it works. Let's undo that one. Okay. Hit the N key, get rid of that panel. Let's do a different type of extrude. Let's do extrude manifold. So Alt or Option Z and extrude manifold right here. Select it. Now it's still giving me the same result, so it doesn't really matter. All right, no big deal. Fine, we'll do it that way. Grab all these faces because we don't need them. X key, faces gone. That means I should still have my entire, if I go to X-ray mode, my entire edge loop like this. Edge loops are important. Now let's just select the bottom and flatten it out. I'm not quite sure how far to extrude it down, but if you want, I think that will be good enough. And if it's not, you can always come back and make it deeper and reprint it again. So let's edit edge loop to tame these edges right down here in the bottom, right? So right along here. So if I now I'm getting the rounded edges here just so that you can see once again in your subdivision surfaces, see the original, and then you see, if you click this little icon just to the right side of subdivision, by default it's grayed out, but if you click it to go blue, you get to see what it looks like with the subdivision curves. All right, Control R, add an edge loop here and tame it. See, tame it. Push it on down. I think that's all we need for that. I think that'll work just fine. All right, done. So let's get out of here. Tab key, object mode. This bottom portion may want to come down a little bit more in case you're going to put in equipment or something along the sides to push that little grid up. But all right, that's for another time. Alt H, there it is. Bring everything back. There we go. All right, so if I grab the grid, let's do this. I want the orientation to be right along here at the top for the grid, so you can see what I'm planning. So I'm going to have to go into the I'm going to go to the inside. In fact, let's go to the inside of, let's go hit the edit mode. Let's see, I'm going to go to, I really just want this edge here. I'm going to grab that edge, Control and Shift. I didn't need all those edges. I just want the side edge there. So let's go to the top view. Control key, I should be able to select all those and get rid of them. That's all I wanted. Now, Shift S, cursor to select it. Now the 3D cursor is there. Tab key, object mode, right click, origin to 3D cursor. So now the origin of the grid is there. I want to make sure that bottom grid is definitely parented to it. Let me go take a look at my outliner. If I have the grid one here, and if I select this one, okay, the other grid detail is way down at the bottom, huh? Oh, I see. That's the type 1 side detail. My fault. All right. So grab this one. Let me grab the other one selected. There it is. So that's the type 1 too. So it's not parented. So let me grab this and then shift. Actually, I had it backwards. Grab the bottom one, shift select the top one. So that's the controlling one. And let's go ahead and, well, I'll tell you what, why don't we just merge them? Guys, let's just merge it. Let's just merge it together because we're making life harder on ourselves. So let's select that top grid, go to the modifier, and just apply it. Apply this right here and hit apply, done. Now it's real geometry, okay? We know that, so we go inside, take a look, that's real geometry in there. Now let's go select the bottom one there and just merge them together. Control J, boom. That's all one object now. So I'm gonna go type 1 grid. We'll say grid final. All right, cool. That works. All right. So the 3D cursor is here. Let's set the orientation for that to the 3D cursor right there. It's just so that, just to play around with the concept and show you that the idea is that this piece, oops, my fault. Let's go to the side view. All right, so it goes something like this, right? Eventually, if you want to do that. But for right now, we'll keep it downwards. Let's see what it looks like if I put on a little bit of a subdivision surface. There we go. Getting our rounded edges, right? Just like so. That's better. Okay. All right, now we're ready for texturing. There is, let me check one little thing out. I'm gonna go over here to the type 1 phaser. Go to edit mode. Yeah, this has got to be separated anyway. So we'll this one could probably use. Look at the type 1 phaser. We got two areas. We got this area that needs some, that's going to need some indentation detail. This area is going to need an opening for your wheel. So this is going to be the time to actually merge this together. So what I like to do is this. Let's select this here. And you know what, let's go ahead and merge it together. I'm going to go to tab key, object mode, subdivision surfaces are here. We got the mirroring. I want the mirroring to be applied. I want subdivision surface to not be touched. I'm going to drop down. Now notice that this is at the top, right? So whatever is at the top will be applied first. So it's applied, the mirroring is done. Because we need to do two separate modeling techniques for each side. Go to tab key, go to edit mode. I need to separate them two separately. So grab that curve right down the middle, go to X-ray mode. You can see that entire shape is selected. And all I'm going to do is hit the V key to slice it, right? It's completely sliced off. Right click to set it back. So if I come over to face editing mode now and just hit the L key to select the linked, I can put that in its own layer now. So take this, hit the P key, hit the selection, it's done. Get out of here, go back to object mode. And as you can see now, each piece is separate. So if we go type 1 right, double click it. I want to go dot right. Let's go to this one here. Type left, type 1 dot left. Okay, now we can model them separately. What we might want to do also, so let me go to the type 1 left, turn it off, and add a, we're going to add a, the thicken the sides a little bit. So we're going to 3D print this ultimately, right? So add the modifier, go to solidify. So generate, actually go select the object first. There we go. Add generate, go to solidify. There we go. There's my thickness there. You want to apply this in its simple stages, which is exactly what we've got. I want to see how far I can go with solidify. So kind of pull this up a little bit. Hold the shift key, make it about like that. That's good enough. I'm going to want to be careful and I may have done this too soon because it's a little extra detail that I completely forgot to include because I'm moving too fast here. And I'm going to have to undo this one. So I'm going to undo it first. Bring it back until it's one piece. Okay, that should have did it. So hit the L key. Yeah, that's good. It's back to one piece again. Okay, before we do anything, okay, let's go to the type 1 phaser. Let's go look at the detail. And I should have, let's go here. All right, so let's go to our section. I think, where am I? This is going to be under the phaser twitch. Blender project phaser twitch. All right. Let's bring this over here. Go to my 3D projects, Blender projects, little phaser. Cool. All right. Let's go over here to my phaser images. Let's go ahead and enlarge these a little bit. So go to my view menu here, go to extra large. And I want to take a quick look at my phaser. So I've got it in my hand here, right? So I've got the actual 3D option or version. And let's see if I find one. Oh, the closest thing I've got here for the type 1 imagery would be, let's see what this one looks like. See what this one looks like here. Double click it. Bring this on over. Just kind of bring it on in. So there's the type 1 there. All right, let's kind of go play with this. In fact, I have half the mind to say, let's do the texturing first before we do this. But let me go back, select the type 1, and yeah, that's pretty much what I want there. So I'm gonna go over here and hit the Shift H, hide everything. Let's go inside of edit mode. All right, I'm gonna look at the faces that we want to select. I'm gonna go to face editing mode. I want to see this in relationship to the other phasers. So Alt H, X-ray mode. I'm actually editing everything now. So I'm going to go just select that type 1 phaser, edit mode. All right, so definitely these pixels right in here. So I'm going to go to the side view here. Let's go select this right here. I'm going to grab some of these faces. Yeah, these faces right in here. Okay. I'm going to go from memory here. Let's get rid of everything else. Go back to edit mode. Get out of X-ray mode. Here, let's see, if I hold my Control and Shift down and go to there, it should select that whole section. That's what we want. Okay, let's pull that out a little bit. So I'm looking at my face where I have in my hand. And you've got a neck and then you've got a little bit of a lip. So I'm going to take it out of subdivision surfaces. It's going to be easier to kind of track what needs to be done this way. E key, pull that on out. Okay, it's a little bit of a neck. And then what we have is a E key to extrude again, right click to set it back, S key to scale it out a little bit like that. So that's going to be the lip coming out there. I think I want the top and bottom to come out a little bit more. So go to the front view here like so. Go to my scale tool and just scale it only on the y-axis like that to kind of keep it fairly even. E key extrude like this. And it's not very much. It doesn't come out very much, probably something like that. Okay. All right, then we got to create an indentation. So I key, Pull it in like so. Now, we're pretty safe coming in to right about there. So if you look at this, whenever you do an inset, and I'm gonna undo it so you can see this. Whenever you do an inset, it's creating an inset, but allowing your original edges to stay where they are. Keep that, see, so basically you can overlap them like this and screw things up. Um, and I think the C key is what prevents that. Hit the C key, see if it does it. No, it's not doing it. All right, I thought it was clamp for C. Can't remember what it is, but you can overlap it. If you need to go further, but you don't want anything to overlap, just in terms of a general modeling in Blender, let's say I go to right about there, but I need to come in a little bit more. All you need to do is now hit the S key for scale, and it freezes all the geometry, all the points, all the edges, the faces. Hit the S key for scale. See, it freezes the whole thing. Now you can go as far as you want. So just keep that in mind about Blender in general. So I'm pulling this, so keep that in mind. So I just wanted to just show that to you guys. So in the meantime, I'm gonna undo this and hit the I key. The geometry faces are so large in here that I don't need to worry about it. I can just take it to where I want it to be. And this is why you start things in stupid, simple, boxy shapes, real large, boxy shapes. So it gives you plenty of room to model and move around in. Now, E key for extrude and just do this. We're done. I got to tame the edges, right? And I'm thinking this face could probably come out a little bit more. I'll double click that and hit the move tool. All right, pull it out a little bit more like that. Okay. Something like that. All right, and we'll deal with the other details later because I really want to get on to kind of doing the texturing for this as well. Object mode. All right, we got comments. So we've got, let's see, Hitchem 679. You have a good weapon. Who is the person you would most like to kill with that weapon? Now, kind of like your big brother that used to pick on you all the time when you were a kid. So we can't mention politicians because it'll get you in trouble. Hopefully that was meant as a joke on his part. So check this out. So let's go ahead and give it subdivision surfaces. There we go. So we need to tame it. So right now it's untamed. So everything is going crazy in terms of these nice smooth edges. So we get back in the edit mode and we can take a look at the combination of our original geometry, which is the black lines, and what we're trying to tame. So we're going to start with the neck first. So we'll do the technique where Control R, double click it, and then Control B, bevel, and pull it out. There we go. That's nice. That works. We will do the same here. So Control R, well, that's Control R, right? Double click it, Control B. There we go. That's what I want. And on the actual phaser, those edges are that rounded. So I might want to keep it exactly the way it is. I might want to edge it off just a little bit. So we can do that real quick. So Control R. So we got an edge pretty close here. We look at it vertically here. This edge to here is fine. It's the longer edge that's a problem. Control R here, there. That's what we want. It's just this side that's a problem. Click it, done. All right, we go back to the other side. Control R, click it, done. Remember, we got rid of the mirroring. So we got to do both sides. So now we go on the inside, Control R, there. Control R again, and just control it that way. All right, I think this is going to work. Yeah, I think that works. Get over here, object mode. Let's see, probably that top face can be flattened a little bit. It's a little bit too round. All right, real easy. You guys know what to do. Control R, right in the middle, double click it. Control B, the bevel, and just pull it out like that. And there you go. That looks good. Tab key, object mode. There we go. Hey, that works. We'll leave it at that. That works. We've got that front face. All right. So at this point, I'm going to keep that where it is, because I know there's a little bit more detail that we want to do, but let's go ahead and do some texturing right now. Let's go back to object mode, Alt H. Now I'm going to Control Shift S. I want this one, Twitch Phaser number 4. There we go. All right, it's looking good. This is a fun one. This is looking really good. We will come back to add in a little extra details up in here. Let's get something, a little visual going. Let's go and start our texturing. And let's go to shading tab because it's already set up for you. Down here is going to be where my nodes will be applied. Up here is my phaser. Right now it's pretty naked because there's nothing on here. So this phaser, because we're not going to put any decals or anything on here. I think it's just going to need just an overall surfacing quality. And I can probably get away with not adding what should I say? If I come over here, the UV mapping, I can probably get away with not doing UV mapping, with the exception of on the Type 1 phaser, because it's just going to be lettering up here through this window. But for now, I think we can get away with not doing UV mapping. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. So we're going to select the nozzle first. And I'm looking at the nozzle on, let's go to our reference. And right down here is our image menu for the reference. That's down here in the bottom. So drop it down and go get there we go. That's what I want. That's what's nice about this shading, is that the Blender Foundation sets it up in a way that they more than likely think that you're going to use. Up here where the folders are, I don't think I really need that. So I'm going to collapse it down and allow this image menu to take over. So I'm going to put my cursor kind of down here at the bottom or the top, any one of the corners, and drag it upwards there, so that we have that whole side just for an image. Let's take a look at that, right? So this is kind of how you want to do things, kind of get up close, look at the sheen. How is it reflecting? Is it reflecting a lot or very little? The fact that it's not a mirrored reflection means there's going to be a lot of roughness applied to it. So you're roughing out the reflection so that you get the glare, but you're not getting a mirroring effect. Our bottom right is going to be where our nodes are. So we need to apply a material first. So I'm going to select the main one back here. There's two of them. There's this piece and there's this piece here. And we're going to give that a material. And we're going to call it nozzle. So select the little red globe here. There's a material. Let's call it nozzle. and hit enter. All right, so if I change the color, there we go. You can see that's all changing there. And I'm thinking this is going to be a light gray. I think probably exactly, I can go a little darker, but probably exactly kind of where it is looks good. Okay. Now, this nozzle, we're going to need to play with the reflection. So you've got in the background this HDRI image that's lighting your scene all around, which is a good thing. It gives you a nice little visual reference. And if we come down here to your options for your material, we've got the metallic, right? So if we bring up the metallic, see? And the idea is get it to match what you see in your image, right? So we bring up the metallic. Now, I bring it up high and then go to the roughness and bring it down low, you're going to get the mirroring effect like this, right? Now you're seeing your HDR image being reflected. Obviously, your image does not have that much reflection. So we need to bring up the roughness to kind of smudge out that reflection. Something like this, see? I'm bringing up, and then if I bring up the reflection, you can see it gets more contrast, adding more contrast to its visual properties. If I bring it down, it softens the contrast, and that's where you want to kind of look at your image to see exactly how much you need to add. So take the roughness up or down, something like this. Of course, our lighting isn't the same as what we have over on the left-hand side, but we're just trying to get as close as we can, the best that we can. Now let's deal with this ring nozzle, the secondary ring. We've got the nozzle. All we need to do is just apply it. So select this, the outer ring. Right over here, you'll see there's no material applied, but we have one already done. Right down this little white globe of the earth. Drop it down. There's your nozzle. Click it. Boom, it's applied. All right, now we're going to kind of look at its reflective property. And it has a little more, I think, of a mirroring, less roughness on the photograph than we have on ours. And of course, we got to change our lighting effect too, but let's see what we can do. Take down the roughness a little bit. Right? It'll all look better when we change the lighting style. But right now, we're relying on this HDRI image. And this HDRI image is basically outside. We can change that, right? So, I've got a bunch of HDR images. Let's go take a look at them. I've got a bunch. I tell you what, why don't we just go over to Polyhaven? Let's go take a look at what they've got. That'll be easier. Polyhaven. Go. Let's go over to assets. Let's go over here to textures. No, HDRIs. HDRIs. Go grab it. And we want a studio lighting effect. Here, right there. Monochrome studio. I think that can work. Let's see if there's anything else in here. No, these are all outdoors. We got a little studio shot down here, but that's for color, indoor color. I think I like that monochrome. We'll grab that one. 4K download. And it's going to ask me where to download it. So we're going to go back to our 3D projects, Blender projects, right? I think it's under phaser. And we're going to put this directly into the images folder. So did I make one yet? Not yet, because I haven't started creating textures yet. So Control-Shift-N. Let's go to add textures, and let's go also call it images here. So I will be at the San Diego Comic-Con doing presentations in Blender modeling actually this time. So this Saturday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. in room 11 at the San Diego Comic-Con. So if anybody is going to be there, let's see if I can find the Comic-Con link. Comic-Con, let's see. I should find it. Homepage there. I will be there. So it's Saturday. Put it on your calendar. If you're at the San Diego Comic-Con, this Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. in room 11. So check it. Come and say hi. All right. For this to be more realistic, also we're viewing this in material mode. So up here Z key material. If I go to render mode, there we go. See? And that's utilizing the image that Blender is giving us there. But I want to bring in that studio image. So right down here, let's kind of move this on over real quick. So right down here, which is my object material mode, we're going to go instead of object, we're going to go over here to world. And then we're going to use node wrangler using the shortcut Control T. So Control T. Now here's my image node. And I'm going to hit Control S so we can save it. I'm going to open, and then we're going to go over to the images folder. And there she is right there. Click it. There. That's better. Much better. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And we are in render mode now, making sure in my render properties here, that's on our right side with the color, right side options, properties with the colorful icons. Very top, get a 35mm camera. Right down here, I've got cycles with the GPU compute. I don't need 1,024 samples right now. I'm just playing. So I'm gonna give it 30 samples. Hit denoise to smooth it out. There you go. See that smooth out? Watch. If I get in closer, take off denoise, you get noise. Then you got denoise, which is nice. Max samples for render, 30. 30. Cool. Okay. All right. That's looking a lot better. A lot better. So I can play around with this now a little bit more accurately. So now it's being lit. If I pull this back, it's being lit by our studio scene. See? There's our studio lighting scene. We'll bring in our own lighting later, but this is just for the purposes of just a quick view of the results. I'm thinking play with the reflection. So with this selected, let's go back to my materials. I got metallic here. Let's see if I bring up metallic. Should I bring up metallic? Maybe we'll bring down roughness. Bring it down a little bit there, like that. Yeah. Bring it down a little bit more, like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. That works. Look at that nozzle. Remember that little extra detail we did in there? That matches. That's nice. Okay, nozzle's done. This same material could also be for the dilithium crystal chamber. Selecting this one, just give it nozzle. Boom, there it is. See that? What else would have this material? Probably this little dial up here as well. Select it, drop it, nozzle. And I'm looking at my phaser, and also this would have the same material as well. That one right there, give it a nozzle. You know what? We got the trigger, same material right there. Select it and hit the nozzle. Okay, so we're making progress. Okay, so Canon is that this is a type, is a particular type of gray, and unfortunately, I don't have a color swatch of the actual gray used, so I'm going to have to use my imagination. I know the handle is going to be black, so I'm going to let's do the handle next. Go to the handle. Let's go to the main handle. Make a new texture. Call it handle, and we're going to make it black. Take it pretty down, pretty low. And we need to play with it. So this is going to have a lot of roughness because this is not shiny, right? It's not highly reflective. It's diffusing the light hitting it. So if I select that, I'm gonna come down to roughness. Well, metallic is already out, but see if I bring roughness higher. Yeah, like that. See, more like that. I'm liking that there. And we're gonna come back and bring texture in here, okay? So let's be patient. Handle. We got this detail here. Select it. Give it the handle. Done. Now, what else would also use the handle would be also the top phaser. I'm gonna show you a trick. I'm gonna undo what I just did. I'm gonna show you a trick. We got the handle looking exactly what we want. We have other parts of the phaser that's going to take on that exact material. So what you can do is we're going to select the type one, which is going to take on that material. We're going to shift select this additional handle detail, and then finally the last thing is shift select this here, which is the handle that has the material. So the last thing that's selected is the handle that has the material. Here's a trick. Control L for link material. Boom, it does them all at one time. That's a nice little fun little trick. Now rotate it around, hit Control S. Okay. You know, another thing that would have that silver material is probably this little guy up here, the little grid. So drop down a little white globe here and select nozzle. Boom. There it is. Okay, so now, something else that would have the silver material is these grids back here. Forgot about those. Drop it down, nozzle. There it is. I'm just inspecting it. Okay. Control S, going to save it. So now it's time for a 15-minute break. So let's bring up the 15-minute timer, take a break. I can go get a little bit of a snack. 15-minute timer. There she is. Let's go grab it. Minimize it. Tell it, give me sound. Being stubborn. Skip that. Thank you. All right, 15 minutes. Take a break. I'm gonna mute my mic temporarily, and we'll be back. It is almost that time. Yay. It is that time. Time to have more fun. Okay, welcome everybody. And a few more people jump in. Jason Mandala, welcome. Good to see you. I just saw you jumped in here not too long ago, and a bunch of others, but I'm not seeing their names. But I'm seeing the numbers are jumping up on the list. So you're welcome to kind of share with us where you're from and what the weather is like in your area. Okay, so where are we? Okay, we just finished adding a basic coloring, texture, and surfacing for the materials for the type 1, the handle, as well as the knob back here, the fin grids in the back, and the dilithium crystal chamber and trigger. All right, we got to do the body. So the body is a type of a gray. So I'm looking at my phaser. It's a dark gray. I'm going to select the body. As we can see, there's nothing here for it. We haven't created anything for it yet. So we'll go to new. We'll call this one the body. And we'll give it a gray that I think works best. So I'm staying away. I'm on a neutral color. We bring it down to a gray, something like that. Looking at my phaser, probably a little bit more like that. All right. So I mean, I got two halves here, right? So one half I added to add the dilithium with crystal chamber, and the other half is pretty much blank. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to take a look at my not bad. We need to go over to render mode in just a bit. So let's just do that now. See the Z key and the key. I said we're still in render mode. Good. Yeah, we're there. We're good. We're good. So give it a little more reflectivity, just a little more. So we'll come over here. Probably bring the roughness down a little bit, something like that. Yeah, not much because there's no mirroring on here. Okay, so we need several things that we need to apply. Um, we have the other side of the phaser, and we have the detail strips that go on here, which is what we see on the side. And we need to mirror these strips here, by the way. So if I select the strips, there's three separate ones. I'm gonna select them all. Also do the same for these three at the top. And the other side of the phaser. And then finally, select the phaser with the material on it last. Control L and link materials. Boom, there. Okay, so we need to mirror this to the other side. So I'm going to start with one. And I'll tell you what, why don't we select these strips? Now that we're done with them, let's select them all. I want to take a look at them real quick. What do we have over here? And okay, we got the shrink wrap, we've got the subdivision surfaces on it, and solidify. So the only thing we may have a problem with is going to be we may have to apply all these. Just apply them all and be done with it, and then mirror it to the other side because it's going to be the same. It's going to be symmetrical anyway. So let's select this and let's come over here and just hit all. There is a shortcut for all. I forget what it is. So I'm just going to hit them all individually. A Do them all. The same thing here. Apply it, apply it, apply it. Now, if I go over to there's a plugin that allow you to it has a apply all button that I forgot to load in, but I don't want to waste the time and go look for it. I'm going to just do it this way. All right, so now with them all selected, they're all done. If I select them all, I can merge them. So Control J, they're all merged as one object. I need the center, which I think is where my 3D cursor is, but just to make sure, I'm going to select this phaser, and that looks like that's about right. That 3D cursor is about right. We go to the top view. Yep, that's about right. So what we'll do is we'll take this edge detail, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. Take that, give it a mirror command. So mirror, generate, mirror, and there it is. Yep, that works. So now we've got the detail on both sides. I'm going to select this detail, both details here, or that one detail that's being mirrored, and I'm going to also select the body of the phaser and just parent it to the body of the phaser. All right, so it's stuck to it. Looking good. Look at the top details. Looking good. Side, yep, it looks great. That looks really good. All right, let's do the nozzle tip and this clear crystal nozzle viewer right about here. So let's go to the tip first, and we're gonna do something different. Let's add not a modifier. Let's go back down here to our materials, add a new material, and call this one the emitter. Let's double click it. Cool. Okay, so we got the emitter. Now, it's naturally giving it a principal BSDF, right? We want this to be glass-like. So we're going to click on the word principal BSDF. It's going to bring up another menu. And if we scroll to the top of the scroll wheel, we have something called glass BSDF. We click it, and there it is. There's our glass. Okay, the problem is our glass is frosted. We don't want it frosted. So we'll come down to the roughness and take it completely out like this. Now we've got glass. In addition, we want to go up here to, well, actually we can keep it exactly like this. This will be fine. If we take a look at our nodes right down here in the bottom, we're currently in the world node. That's not what I want. I want to go back to our objects node, and you can see here's the glass material. Materials are designated, or shader, I should say. The shaders are designated with the green outline in the menu section here. So, okay, this looks good. We're going to keep that. Now, the phaser that I have has a separate nozzle just inside, right? I want to do that one because I think it looks kind of cool. I don't know if it's legit or not for Canon, but it looks cool. So Shift H, turn off everything else. I'm going to duplicate this one, Shift D, like this. Let's push it back. Come over here just so you guys see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna push it back like this. This is gonna go behind it, and this is gonna be small. So S for scale, and do that. That goes inside like so, and this goes back here like that. Yeah. So there's another nozzle inside of this one on my wand phaser. Again, don't know if it's Canon, but it looks kind of cool. like that. Okay, so Alt H, bring everything back. Yeah, I'm liking that. That's kind of fun. Um, and now we need glass several places. Um, right here. All right. So I'm going to go real close, kind of pull this on down. I don't need to see that right now. Select it. There's my glass. Shift select your nozzle or your emitter. Right. Control L for linked and linked material. Boom. There we go. Now we're seeing through the glass. See that phaser type 1 detail that we modeled earlier? We can see it right in there. If we go to an angle here, there it is. See, now you can see it. We're getting closer. See that right in there? That's what we wanted. All right. It's coming along. It's coming along real nice. I'm kind of spinning it around, taking a look at it. Okay, so we need one more. So this little jewel right up here, select this one here, Control L. I forgot to select that earlier. Make material. Boom, there we go. That's it. Down here, we'll create a numbering system, and that's for another day. That looks great. I'm going to hit Control S. What do you guys think? Put it in the chat box. Tell me what you guys think. Everybody's being real quiet today. Give me some thoughts. The handle, let's see. Oops, let me turn this off. My fault. I forgot. Turn that off. Um, let's see. Now I want to add a little extra detail. There's a really fine stippling detail on the body of the phaser. Super, super fine. It almost looks like it's this phaser body is completely smooth, but there's a real fine stippling texture, which I think I can do with either clouds or noise. So I'm going to try something. Let's see. Let's go to the body of the phaser and select it. Let's go down here to our texture for that body, which is right here. The body is selected up here. It automatically shows the materials that are listed on your body when we're in the materials section. Or I should say up here. I'm actually going to go hit the period key. Select the body, and there it is right up here. It's targeted up here in outliner. That's the material for the body. I'm going to hit Control T to add a few extra nodes. This is bringing in an image. I don't want to bring in an image. I want to bring in a procedural texture generator. And we're going to Shift A, go to search. Now I don't know if this one will work, but bring in noise. I want to bring in a noise and see what that does. Noise texture there. Select the vector from the mapping, and select the, okay, probably the factor. Let's see. No, that's not what I want to do. All right, this is not what this is what I want to do, but I don't want to target it to the color. I want to target it to the bump. I want this to be a bump texture. I'm going to check something out here. Let's go to the, let me go ahead and say color to color for now. I want to see something here real quick. All right, so I'm gonna pull that out because I want to view. The reason I was going to color so I could actually view the bump as a color. Let's take a look at this. If I bring in, let me try something. I'm going to bring in a color ramp. I'm just experimenting right now. Color ramp, plug it in. Control Shift on the color ramp. Let's see if I can do this inside of material mode. And let's see, there we go. Oh, the noise is not giving me exactly what I need, but let me try something else out. Go to the 4D view. And let me play around with the scale a little bit there. That's not exactly, okay, I know what's going on. So what I forgot to do is get it out of UV mode. I think object, go to object and connect that on in and see what that looks. There we go, that's what I want. Because we did not create UVs. And I want to play around with this stippling. So again, I've got it plugged into, I want to take it out. No, I guess I can do this for metallic too, couldn't I? That'll be kind of interesting. So I'm plugged into the color just so I can visually see the texture that I want to play around with. And I'm gonna go over here to scale and play with the scale. I want this tiny, 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 real tiny like that. Maybe even more. So I'm getting those little black dots in there. I may want it even tinier. Okay. I'm going to take the black and the white and inverse it. So it's kind of like stars in there, so to speak. Okay. Now I want a bumping surface type of a feel. And I think I'm going to plug this into the displacement section. I'm going from memory here. Let me go pull this on over. Put the BSDF, connect those two there. All right, I want this connected into the normal. Let me see what happens if we do the normal. And I want the bump. Let's see, I'm going to go to the bump node. Maybe what I need to do is this. It's just kind of go get the bump node real quick. Okay, we bring it right about there. Okay. Now, this that we just created, we got the size of the texture the way we want. We're going to connect that to the strength, or that's the distance, We're going to connect the bump into the normal. Let's see what we get. And I may need to bring in lighting for this, different types of lighting for this. Let me go to the strength. So can I go 3? Nothing. All right, let's play with this. Let me figure out what this is. Let me try. I want distance. Oh, not distance, height. That's my fault. See what we get now. There it is. That's it. Sorry about that. That's it. See that subtle little texture? That's too harsh because I brought up the strength to 3. Let's take it back down to 1. There. This may be too large still, so I'm gonna go back over to here. Now I'm gonna try the roughness. If we bring the roughness up, let's see what happens. Getting it real close, and I still think my texture is a little bit too large, so I'm going to make it smaller, make it really even much smaller. And I'm just exploring and experimenting. Okay, I brought it close to 1,000 here. Yeah, that's nice. Now what I need to do is go to the bump, the strength. I'm gonna take it down to 0.5. All right, I'm going to take it down to 0.2. Yeah, I think that works real nice. There we go. Now looking at my phaser, that stippling effect is not on the handle, and it's not on anything else but the body detail. So everything that's got the body material is going to have that detail text. See, it's going to have that subtle little texturing detail. So when you 3D print this with a resin printer, that will be articulated quite well. Isn't that fun? Now, I also noticed that the same stippling detail is also on the handle, not the type 1 phaser. I forgot to turn this one, give that the nozzle material. So go to the side, go to here, go to nozzle. Oh, come on, undo that. I want that piece there. Thank you. Nozzle there. There we go. Now, if we go back to the body, I can bring those nodes over to here, right? So if I select the body, I should be able to select all these nodes like this. And then Control C for copy. Go to the phaser, come to the left-hand side, Control V for paste. And now just plug this into the normal. So I'm gonna get in close to the side of the type 1 phaser like this, like those extreme angles. And normal into normal. There it is. Just did it. Getting close, there they are. See? That too has the same stippling. Real subtle. Of course, when you 3D print it, you may want to make them a little bit larger, a little more, just to give the 3D printer a chance to print that detail out. But for CG purposes, that looks good. Let's see. Kevin says, Kevin, oh, color into height input. Oh, I that was earlier. Thanks, Kevin. I just saw your message there. Okay. So once again, if anyone wants to join in to share anything, I'll give you guys the link. If not, we're going to lighting. All right. So there's the link to come and share live if you want to jump on. And Kevin, oh, Kevin, I just saw Kevin jumped on here. I'm going to add you to the screen now.
To say that I just
All
jumped
right.
on to say that.
So make sure your microphone is turned on. I hear something.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now perfectly. Welcome, man.
Hey, I was just gonna say, like when I typed that, it was like 5 minutes ago. But you have like a 5 minute delay on your lower third thing.
Oh man, that's a 5 minute delay is a long time.
I know it's always been that way too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a setting. Maybe you can change. I don't know if there's something at your end.
I think it may be your end because everybody's got a different delay time. So maybe your bandwidth or something going on at this time of day in your area.
No, I mean every time I see someone's comment come up, it's usually way after you've done something.
Oh, yeah, really bizarre. So yeah, okay. Well, hey, good to have you here. Let me turn off this little notation. You want to share anything?
No, I was just kind of watching. I mean, I have some stereoscopic thing I was going to talk about. I didn't remember if I had before in the past, but
I don't remember remember doing it.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, you finish up your thing. This isn't as pressing as your thing.
It's not. Let's see. I've got. I'll tell you what. Give me about 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do the little lighting setup, and then we'll bring you on board.
All right. Cool.
And I think you can go ahead and share your screen so at least it's up there, ready to go. So when I'm ready to bring you on, I'll just plug you in. So, yeah, this week's going to be stressful. I've got Comic-Con. I'm a speaker there this year, so.
Cool.
And I'm going to go look for, I'm going to tell you guys what the title of my presentation is. So it's going to be on Saturday. Let me go ahead and maximize that again. It's going to be on Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. And it's going to be in room 11 ABC or something like that. Right? And I'm refreshing myself for the title of my presentation. Refreshing my memory. Okay, so the title of my presentation is Creating 3D Models for Storytelling in Blender 3D. So what I have not done at Comic-Con is that I have not done yet an actual modeling presentation. All the presentation I've done was on tips and tricks and techniques for Unreal Engine, for environments and stuff like that. But I've never done an actual modeling. So I'm thinking about this is building some type of a simple little setup, maybe an interior setup, and show how I model the individual objects in that interior. I figure that might be a good one. Model it as well as texture them. Kind of similar to what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, actually, I should show you guys this. This is fun too. I am a guest presenter on Trek Worlds, and that's on YouTube. I don't know if anybody knows about Trek Worlds, but it's a really outstanding podcast. And I'm going to go to search, and we will go to Trek Worlds. Think I can get to it through that link there. There it is right there. Go to Trek World. And this is a really good little podcast. I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat box for you guys' convenience. And Mandala just made a comment here. I'll take a look real quick. Mandala just let's bring that up. Says going to CVS to pick up some stuff from San Diego for San Diego Comic Con. See ya at the convention center. Okay, great, man. See you then. Here's the link to Trek Worlds. It's pretty cool. Now, in here is my first presentation with them. And let's go see if I can find it real quick. I found it pretty quickly last time, but if I go to the videos, maybe I can go to it this way. Let's see, there I am, right there. So if we click on that, now
this is the perfect
my first presentation.
It replaces 3 different charts.
My first presentation, I decided to actually model a phaser, like what we're doing here on Twitch. I figured that'll be good for those people. So there I am. I'm going to put this link in the chat box as well. It takes you directly to the video. All right, and this is the new link here for that one. So check this out. And then what I'm doing is a different presentation every week, building something in Blender, but it's going to be Star Trek specific. And so maybe after I finish the phaser, what I'll do is I'll go on to doing the agonizer from one of the episodes, and then maybe Dr. McCoy's hypo spray needle, or Spock's earpiece, or Uhura's earpiece, something like that. Just something that's Star Trekky, but it employs the Blender skill set. So I figured that those so far the response has been very, very favorable to the presentation. So check it out, Trek Worlds. Anything and everything about Trek. All right, let's do this. Let's set up the lighting here real quick. Let's go into our model section, and let's go into object mode. And we might as well go on into side of, well, before I do anything, let me go and select all my objects. So Alt-Z, select all. I'm going to put in a 3D cursor. So I'm going to Shift A, not 3D cursor, but an empty. Arrows for the empty. I'm going to undo it. Shift A. Empty. I want a cube for the empty there. That's my empty. I'm going to make it larger like that. I'm going to bring it down because I want everything parented to this. So we'll do that. That's all we need. All right. I'm going to select hit the A key for select all. My empty is the last thing selected. It's highlighted orange. Control P, keep transformed. So now all I do is select the empty and move everything around. Make life a lot easier. Control S to save it. Let's bring it up. Let's bring in a floor. So Shift A, mesh, plane. Scale it like that. Let's set the plane down on the Z-axis on the 0. Okay, hit the N key to make that go away. Okay. All right, now the lighting that I prefer, well, What I want to use is maybe a spotlight. My favorite lighting, why don't we do it the more professional way? Why don't we do it as if we're going to photograph it as a product shot for a set? So go into my edit menu for this, for the plane, grab the back edge, E for extrude and Z for the um, Z, the restricted on that axis, like that. Grab that corner, Control B, pull it on out like so, and roll the scroll wheel to get that nice little cove. That's kind of fun. Okay, done. We got to give this a surface. So let's go into a different viewing mode. So Z key render mode. Okay. Now remember, we got that HDR lighting the entire scene. So I'm gonna go to the bottom and just drag up another window. So get the crosshairs, click and drag up another window, make that the shading tab very quickly. Go to my world view, and all we're gonna do is disconnect that from color there. Okay. I think I've got a light in here already. Up here, my lighting, cameras, and actions. I set that up automatically when I open up Blender. There's my light source right there. I'm gonna click on it. There it is. It's way over here. So I don't want to. I want to inspect the type of light that I have. So I'm gonna come down here to the green light bulb very quickly, and I got a point light on this one. I definitely don't want a sunlight. And spotlight is probably ideal, but I like area lights like this. This is a nice soft lighting. Let's take a look at the size of our area light. So S key for scale, move that up a little bit. There's the light right there. And what's nice about the area light is you can give it any shape you want. So come down to your light bulb here. You got rectangle. It can be a square. It can be a disc. See, it changed to a disc. It can be an ellipse. All right, I'll just keep it a rectangle. I want this pointed at an empty, actually. So I tell you what, if I have the body, let me take a look at the body of the face. Let me see where my orientation is. Go to the phaser here. Orientation that's in the right spot. Let's have the light source point at the body of the phaser. Okay, so the type 2 right side is that's fine. We'll have it point to that. Go to your light source. Let's give this a modifier that affects motion. Right above your light source is your constraint. This is just a modifier that affects motion. Track 2. Track 2 what? Phaser body. Let's go down the bottom. Alphabetical order it should be. I thought I called it phaser body type 1. What was that called? Right down here, if you select this here, and it's called, type 2 right side, sorry. Go back to my light source, object, I'll just type it in. Type 2 right side selected, there it is. Now it's always pointing, so no matter where I drag this, it's always gonna point at that phaser. I may or may not want to do that. I'll tell you why in just a moment. That may or may not be ideal. I'm going to take it off. I'll tell you why it may not be ideal. I may want to rotate this. So if I take this here manually, go to my light source here. Oh, what just happened? I lost my light. It's not showing. Did I turn that off? Let's see. Go to my light source. Here's the light source. Light is here. Okay. Oh, I knocked it out of render view. All right, here we go. All right, so once I have it pointed downwards, if I want to rotate this to affect the edge of the light, so let me go to the rotation. I'm going to rotate the transform. I can rotate this. See, I may want to control this manually, like so. Get the lighting the way I want. I may want to bring that up a little bit, so I'm going to kind of pull this down, pull it back a little bit. See what I'm doing. Pull it up. Maybe pull it out a ways a little bit. Kind of rotate it, kind of something like this. Let me see what we're getting. Because with a product shot, these soft boxes are usually set up straight overhead. And also another problem is that the background is too close. And often in the studio lighting situation, your backgrounds are further away, like this. Yeah, more like this. So it gives you room to light your subject without the forward light affecting your product, or your background, I should say. And then go to the background again, tab key, edit mode, grab that and just pull that on out like this, see? So now if I'm viewing it from the front, I've got control of my gradient back there. So tab key, being a professional photographer and doing product photography for years helps. And I'll guess what I'll do also is I'll go ahead and just stretch that on out more like that. So it gives me some wiggle room to play with the camera. Control A, rotation and scale. I'm going to set this up like so. Control, Alt or Option 0 sets the camera. Hit the N key for your numerics. Go to your view option, right? And I'll go to items. Yeah, go to the view option here. Go to the view at the very top. Camera to view, lock it. So I can set up the camera accordingly. For product photography, I enjoy a lens of about 100 millimeters. So I'm gonna go get my camera here, come down to my properties, the colorful icons on the right-hand side, grab the camera data. Instead of 100 millimeters, go to 100 millimeter lens. There we go. That kind of compresses the lines a little bit. Gives it a more handsome look. And I want to try something here. Let me hit the numerics panel. Go to my items, rotation, Z-axis, right click. Actually, I don't need to right click. I'll just go to the Z for the rotation. Pound frame. Let's give it divided by 32 for starters. Automatic Python script was disabled. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Permanently allow execution. Allow execution. Maybe I should have did it. Escape. Let me hit Command S to save. Okay, it's not working. Weird. Okay, that should have worked. Let's right click, delete the drivers. Okay, so I'm just got the empty, which means I should be able to animate that rotation. Okay, oh, sorry, I'm hitting the wrong thing today. Grab the box by itself. Do I have everything that's selected? Okay, so, oh, that's weird. Huh. Why is my background moving? Let me see what's going on here. I did something wrong, obviously. Camera view, go right about to here. Hit the 3 key. Nope, just hit the 0 key, get out of there. Okay, let me see what's going on here. So I've got the empty selected. Everything's parented to the empty. So if I do any type of rotation, oh, the light is also parented. That's what's going on. Okay. All right. I don't know how that happened. Obviously, I know how it happened. I did it, not paying attention. No problem. Let's see. Let's go find the light. So here's the empty. Oh, I see. I parented everything to it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we'll go. The two things I don't want parented is the camera, right? Alt P, clear the parent from the camera. It's out. And I want the background, Alt P, clear the parent. Let me kind of like get rid of that there. All right, so background and light is out. So now I should be able to grab this there. It's still, the light is still parented. Why? Let me undo that. Turn the light off and on. No, the light is not parented. So what is going on? This is a mystery. Oh, there's another light right there. There's two lights. Didn't realize that. Okay. We'll just delete it. There. Okay. We'll go back up to select this. Okay, that's working good. I want to make sure that's right. I thought I had parented more that other light, so maybe I didn't. I just deleted it. All right, so fine. We'll go up here to my light and camera actions, Shift A, and just add a light. Let's add my area light like this. There we go. Pull it on up. Make this larger, S scale like this. That's better. Let's go over here and bring up our intensity. Yeah. That's nice. Bring it a little bit more forward. And it's still far enough away from that background where you have a little bit of a gradient. I'm getting a little bit of light. I'll bring in some bounce lights as well, too. All right, so I got the basic setup done. Now let's go back. Hit the 0. That's my camera view. Let's set up the camera correct. Getting closer. Okay, now I'm going to try this again. N key for the numerics, item for the items. Go to my rotation, Z, pound frame, divided by 32. Interesting. Now, why it's not? All right, I'll figure out. There's another way to do it. I'll figure it out. Let's delete that driver. I can manually do this, but we'll do. I tell you, we'll save the animation for next week. So let me figure out why the empty is not animating when it really, as far as I'm aware of, it should in Blender. I'm not aware of it not being able to. I've done it before. Okay, there's my lighting. I'm kind of getting the lighting set up nice and clean. Yeah, I'm liking the way that's looking. It's probably a little bit too hot, huh? Let's go up here. Just grab my lights. Is inside my area light there. Keep everything organized. Lights, camera, action on one spot. So I know where everything is. And probably bring this down to something like 6. Maybe 6.5, 6.5. Let's try 7 and see how it looks. That's good. All right, so what we'll do is I'm going to stop here, and we will not have a broadcast next week because I will be at Comic-Con doing a Blender presentation there. So I'll save this for the following week, and we'll come in and I'll show you how I bring in reflecting cards to bounce light back into your the critical areas of the phaser, give it a little bit more character. So Control S, save that one. And Kevin, I guess I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you can share your screen.
All right. Let's see.
All right, I'm still waiting for your screen.
Yeah, hold on a second here.
Oh, there we go. Got it now. Adding it to stage. You are live, buddy.
Okay. Some of the other work I do, besides I used to do film work and TV work. Recently, in the past number of years, I've done a lot of medical animation work. And one of the things that all of our jobs they are not only done in 3D, but they're rendered in stereoscopic. And I just wanted to show you that Blender can do that stuff, and just an example of what I was doing. So I'm not going to bore you with this whole video. But this is, here's a scene that I'm going to show you that I was working on for this video here.
A receptor modulator was approved.
Now, you're just watching the regular, when I deliver for the client, we have a bunch of different deliverables that we have to do. One is this version, which is the regular version, the 2D, the non-stereoscopic version that you would watch without glasses or anything. So, but the scenes when I'm creating them are actually, I'm over here in Blender now. If you had a pair of red-green glasses, the red-blue glasses, you could put them on and you would actually see that this scene here is in 3D. And if I pop out to a different view here, my camera here, in the output settings here, there's a toggle switch called stereoscopy, which turns on that feature in Blender. So if you turn it on and off, what you're getting is basically 2 cameras. In LightWave, it actually shows 2 cameras that happen, which I kind of prefer, but Blender doesn't. It just shows you that you still have 1 camera, even though you're toggling this on and off. But there are actually 2 cameras that are offset now when you toggle on the stereoscopy switch here.
And that's in the output section?
In the output properties?
Yes. Yes, in the output, and Yeah, the stereography is a separate menu.
Yeah, it's a little twirl down thingy here.
That's awesome.
Now, how you use it is really, when I'm working in Blender like this, first I don't work like this in Blender. I just set up my shots the way I normally would in any regular, scene. Just the way you're working, Steve, like without stereoscopic turned on. I'd be working the same way, just positioning the camera, getting my shots done the way I want them, setting up the lighting and all that stuff. And then it's at the end where I turn on the stereoscopic switch and I start to adjust the settings for making that look good in the render. Because I've seen a lot of stuff rendered incorrectly in stereoscopic because people think it's just like you turn on the switch and then you just render. But it's not, because if you don't do it right, you can give people headaches when they're watching this stuff because it's, it's either too close to your eyes or it's too far and you don't notice the effect, or, there's definitely some rules to do this better. Now, when I turn on the stereoscopy switch, you're going to notice something popping up here, this little rectangle. I don't know if you guys can see this here. This rectangle here is being enabled. And what that is that's the convergence plane. If I go to my camera setting now, the camera setting has a stereoscopy tab also. And that's where let me get this over here. That's where the convergence plane is. And what I'm just going to scrub this to show you that it moves. And what this does is when you have, we have two eyes, unless you're a cyclops or, something like that. We have two eyes. And when we stare at something, both eyes are looking at an angle toward that thing. If you put your finger up in front of your nose a couple inches and you stare at your finger with both eyes, you're going to notice that both eyes are, crossing at an angle to look at that finger. And this is what this convergence plane does. Both cameras, even though it's showing only one, are looking at this flat plane. And when you're looking at something in stereoscopic, that's what you want to do for the audience. You want to kind of pre-focus your eye on something. So if I was to, we're looking through the camera, and if I move this convergence plane setting, you're going to notice that there's, some drastic offsetting that's being done here. Now, if you were looking at this as an audience person with the glasses on, you'd be getting a headache right now because your eyes cannot pull these two separate images together in your brain. It's just not possible. So what you can do is, now I have keyframes set up. Maybe I should. So when the shot is normally playing, there's something in the scene that's the important thing that you want the audience to look at. And in this case, let's back it up here a little bit. And in this case, the scene starts with this little, antigen thing floating around. And then the camera, pans over and we pull focus to these other objects. So in that scene, you want the convergence plane to do the same thing. You want to be converged on this object at first. And then as the camera looks back toward this other thing, the convergence plane will push back. So if we look at this scene, we're going to see what happens. At first, we're sort of converged on these objects up here. Here's that convergence plane. And then as the camera moves over, that convergence plane animates over to these objects back here. Hey, Steve, I'm just warning you, there's a huge thunderstorm that's just coming in. There's a lot of thunder. So if I lose power, you'll know what happens. You still there?
Sorry, I had my microphone muted. Okay, say that again.
I was just going to say there's a huge thunderstorm that's just happening right now. So
Oh,
if I
okay.
lose power and you lose me, then you'll know what happened.
Then I know what happened. Okay, no worries.
Um, so yeah, the convergence plane is something that's very important when you're animating a 3D shot. You want to kind of pre-focus your eyes on something in the scene. Now, the other thing that's important is the intraocular distance here. And that's basically how separated your eyes are from each other. And that can be animated too if you need to. Now, if you, let's say, well, a human being has like, I don't know, 2.5 inches or so between.
Okay, so how are you adjusting this? Because everybody's got the eye distance between eyes is different for every person.
Yeah, and I'm not working to scale when I'm in these 3D scenes. You know, these are, you know, in real life, these objects are microscopic, you know. Blender can't work at that scale. So I'm just working at like these objects are about 1 meter in size, you know.
Okay.
But let's say, for instance, you were animating a camera in front of a house and there's a front door on that house. Just some huge lightning happening outside. If the camera was moving toward the front door and then there's a keyhole in that door,
Yeah.
you need to animate the intraocular distance, you know, the distance between your left and your right eye. You need to animate them pulling together, or else both eyes will hit the door on each side of that keyhole and the camera won't go through. You'll go through the door.
But I'm assuming that the interocular checkbox does that for you, right?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, right. Normally when you turn on stereoscopic effects, it's set to a preset distance, which is your eyes.
Okay.
So depending on what you're animating, the scale of your scene, you may have to change the intraocular distance in order to make sure that the camera and your eyes stay in kind of a viewable range where you're not getting a headache or you're not flying through objects. Because that is a problem when you have a scene done in 3D. Like I have all these little floating things in the scene. It's easy to have one camera float through an object and the other eye doesn't, you know. So you can create problems like that if you're not careful. And generally in that sense, I'm animating objects and I'm keeping them away from the cameras so that doesn't happen. But like I said, if you had to fly through the keyhole of a lock,
right,
that's, you know, the camera is going to be on both sides of that keyhole opening unless you animate the intraocular distance to pull those two cameras together to both fit through the hole.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then once you go through the keyhole and you're inside the house, you can slowly animate the intraocular distance back to, you know, a comfortable setting again. So that's kind of what's happening. I'm animating some things throughout this scene in order to keep the scene viewable correctly. When you're watching a movie and you go to the theater, you know, those scenes can be rapid cut. You know, when you watch a Star Wars movie or something, and you know the shots are a second long or even less than a second long, you could easily get a headache because of how, you know, the convergence plane and everything is set up when they animated their scenes. You know, when you have a series of shots like that, you don't want to give the audience a headache. You want to really plan out how these things are. Now in this situation, this is like a, I don't know, 30-second shot or something. That's where I find stereoscopic renders to work the best, where you can kind of take your time and look at the scene without, you know, without it cutting away right away. Now, also during, this is what's called an anaglyph render. This red-blue technique. This is like one of the oldest techniques. You know, back in the 1950s when they were making these black and white movies, they were rendering some of them in stereo, you know, in stereoscopic 3D to get people into the audience, you know, into the theaters back then. And they gave them a pair of those, you know, red-blue glasses. we don't do that today anymore. What we do is, we tend to render, we tend to view these in a theater with polarized lenses. When you go in, they give you a pair of what looks like sunglasses. But those two polarized lenses, when you put them on your head, the projector is showing a left and a right image. And the eyes on those polarized lenses, one eye only sees your right eye lens will only see the right eye image. And the left eye lens only sees the left eye image. That way you don't get them mixed at the same time. So that's the difference in today's, technology. When you go to a theater, you're using polarized lenses. If you were to pop those two lenses out and put them on top of each other and rotate one lens 90 degrees, it would go black. You couldn't see through that. That's how they keep those two images separate, by polarizing the lenses, and then they polarize the light as it's being projected through the projector. So what happens after I set up this scene in Blender and then I enable the stereoscopic switch, then I'm actually rendering out as a final animation 2 image sequences at once. So if I have a 600 frame shot, I'm rendering out 1200 frames. 600 are the left eye, 600 are the right eye. And then I'm using After Effects to go in and create my final, rendered QuickTime or whatever the deliverable is. So if I go to, let me just jump over real quick. Let's see. So this is what a final render of the anaglyph looks like, which no one will look at this. But if you had a pair of glasses right now and you put them on, you would see that this is a 3D scene. But some of the other deliverable formats that I have to deliver, besides the regular one, which is not 3D, is a side-by-side version. Now these are meant for, if you had a headset, a VR headset, you could watch it with this format. It would decode this left and right format like this. There's also one where it's top and bottom. It looks kind of like this, except it's split horizontally with top and bottom image. Okay, that's the regular version here. Yeah, so once, there's different deliverables because there's different ways to watch 3D stereoscopic content. I know this is it's kind of a lot to take in, and it does take some getting used to when working on 3D stuff, because like I said, it's easy to make it the wrong way. To render it out the wrong way. Let's see, I don't know. I don't know if there's any questions, or if that was just kind of an overview of just dipping your toe into stereoscopic work for Blender. Yeah, that's about it, unless there's any other questions or anything.
Reduce inflammation. To TNF alpha agents.
And then any text that I'm adding in, in After Effects or whatever, need to be in 3D also. And then in this case, the easy way is to just put all the text basically flat on the screen so that the text is not stereoscopic, it's just flat. Now, when you're watching a movie theater, watching in a theater or on a TV screen, that's what this convergence plane really represents, is the screen that you're looking at. So if you wanted an object to pop off the screen and into the theater to make it look like, if you're sitting if you're sitting here in the theater,
we heard that one.
yeah, it's kind of scary actually. Yeah, if you're sitting here in the theater, this is you, the eye, and this is the screen. This is the convergence plane. So if you wanted it to seem like something was popping off the screen, you could move the convergence plane so that the objects are inside, between the screen and you now. You see that? Here's like the movie screen, and now all of this stuff is inside the theater. Now, this isn't a technique that they do a lot because this is one of the things that gives you eye strain. And one of the reasons is when you're watching a rectangular movie screen, and this is the screen here, this part here. One of the things that freaks your brain out is when objects are cut off, because it just ruins the effect. It's fun it's fine if there's a floating object in the screen that's floating in front of the screen, and the object is not cut off on the edges. That'll show really nice as a 3D effect that's inside the theater, like if you wanted to make it seem like butterflies were floating close to your face or something like that. Anyway, I know it's a lot of bizarre things to kind of soak in like this, but I just wanted to give a quick overview of being able to do stereoscopic work in Blender.
That is awesome. That's interesting. I might have to do that. I have a friend of mine who's doing stereoscopic artwork, just like doing this, taking his paintings, bringing it into Blender, and doing the stereoscopic effect, printing it out, then giving people the red green, the red blue glasses.
Yeah. If it's a print, the thing that'll work best is, let's say you have a rectangular print in your hand. The thing that works best is when there's an object inside that print that is stereoscopic and floating off the screen. You don't want the whole rectangular image to be floating off the screen because that's kind of ruins the effect. And yeah, there's also a combination of like this separation here is kind of the maximum amount that you'd want to separate. Kind of like this 1/4 inch looking type thing. If it goes too far, if you're using the intraocular distance and you separate this too much, then your eyes can't pull that together. The muscles in your eyes can't actually converge those two images together in a good way. So there's definitely some rules and some guidelines to help you get better stereoscopic effects.
So the final piece is your client giving the people who are viewing the work the red blue glasses?
No, there's this other type of work that I was doing. I haven't shown it, but let me show you. Let's see. Now it's hard to tell in this one, but this one is a different video. This one was made. Let me see if I actually have it. Hold on. Time. Okay, so this video was rendered out at 8,000 wide by 1,000 high. And there's one on top of the other. That's the left eye over the right eye. In this is the final deliverable. This is how this had to be delivered in order for it to be shown. So the left eye is on top, the right eye is on bottom. What was that? I didn't hear that. So it's left over right. And
if you can hear me, you should be.
This one is this wide because it's made for these special theaters.
I think we may have lost Kevin's sound.
Oh, really?
All right, Kevin, I you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, yes. Okay, good. So somehow we lost your sound.
Can you hear me now? No?
Let's see if we can get him back.
Hello, hello. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Did you lose me?
Huh.
Not here anymore?
Do you wanna reboot and come back? Not reboot. We reboot StreamYard and come back. Log out and come back. Maybe give that a try. Okay, everybody. So I'll put up my screen for the time being. Kevin's gonna come back. Actually, try sharing your screen again. Maybe that'll do it. I'll remove mine, and then I'm gonna add that to stage now. And maybe we need to.
Can you hear me now?
Together.
Still not hearing me?
Still not hearing you.
Huh. I see 2 versions of me now down there.
Odd. StreamYard has been religiously very, very good. Okay, so I'll share my screen again. So Kevin, stop sharing your screen. Maybe log yourself out. Good. He's going to log himself out and come back in. No big deal. We will, while he's waiting to come back in, I'll continue on with this little thing here. Let me just grab this little. I was kind of thinking about this, grabbing a little background here. We gave it, I believe. Let me go to my materials. We gave this little background, no material. Select it. We'll give it a nice little gray. And then I want to add some reflectivity. Okay, now Kevin's back. Kevin, I'm going to add you to.
Well, can you hear me? If you can't hear me, then don't bother.
All right, so you were added to the screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes,
okay.
We can hear you now. There we go.
All right.
So go ahead and share your screen. And I'm going to stop sharing mine and remove mine.
Well, hopefully this will work.
All right. And we got your camera looking pretty good. So it's probably, there we go.
Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you fine. Perfectly.
All right. Forget what I was talking about. Oh, one of the other, this is another deliverable format, and these are 8,000 wide by 1,000 high. And this is a the final deliverable that I would give to the client. It's sized down for this screen, but it's 8,000 wide by 1,000 high, and it's left over right image. So the top image is the left eye, the bottom image is the right eye, and these are made for theaters,
Right.
special theaters called igloo theaters. And if
Yes.
you went to a convention or this seminars where they have all these medical people show up, they might have these theaters. They're kind of like a 25-foot diameter.
Yeah, like the science domes.
It's not a dome, but it is a cylindrical theater.
Okay.
And that's why it's rendered like this. The other thing you can't really see well is that it is rendered in equi-rectangular format, which is a very warpy format.
Well, let me ask you this. So when you're modeling everything and setting up your stage, your camera is set to that format?
Yeah.
Okay, and then your camera, your lens focal length, what is it?
Well, the focal length can be whatever I want, but
Okay.
the settings on the stereoscopic settings are what's important. You know, you can have a 100mm lens or a 24mm lens. That doesn't matter in 3D.
Right.
It's those intraocular separation and the convergence plane that matters.
Right, but I'm referring for this project specifically.
Right.
Would you go to more of a wide angle lens to get more of that panoramic view?
No, it's a setting. Actually, what you're looking at here was done in LightWave. I mean, LightWave was great because it had this thing called the advanced camera. It was a camera that had all kinds of settings in it, and one of them was the cylindrical 360 setting.
Gotcha.
So it was a camera, but you didn't change its focal length to do this, to create a seamless. Now, when you look at the left side of the image and the right side of the image, that's seamless. If you were sitting in the theater and you look completely behind you, you wouldn't see a seam because of the way the camera in LightWave, and Blender can render it this way too. I had to figure it out in Cycles, but there was a setting to turn on the equi-rectangular render for VR rendering.
Yeah.
Normal VR rendering renders 360 degrees above your head,
Right.
below your feet.
And below your feet.
It's a sphere that it's rendering, but you can change the settings in Blender to do what I'm doing here. Like you can limit the I forget what the
Crop it
settings
off
are
between
called.
above your feet and below the sky.
Yeah. So, but in LightWave, it just had a camera
Cool.
for either 360 VR or for cylindrical VR.
So, Kevin, we lost your voice again.
I think I'll be done
Is
then.
that thunder wreaking havoc on your system?
No, I still have power.
And it's wreaking havoc on your system. Well, I'll share my stage again. Okay, he's coming back. Let me see if we can get this to work. I think the thunder is messing with something over in Kevin's office. I'm just gonna play around with something with the face. I think we're gonna go to that background there. Yeah. Here's my material. Yeah, that's kind of.
Well, I think I'm probably pretty much done.
Laser, go back. All right, let's get my lighting the way I want it here. So as we're waiting for Kevin to come back, I'll play around here with the little phaser setup. I'm gonna go to the. I've got the background selected. We're gonna go to our materials here. So we gave it a gray, and I'm gonna take the metallic up. And I'm going to bring the roughness down so we can get a reflection. There we go. Bring that down, bring the metallic up. Kind of get a reflection of the phaser going there. Yeah. Just goofing around. All right, so we're still waiting for Kevin gets mic going. I mean, we're at the end, kind of the end of the broadcast anyway. So
Yeah. I'm
um,
back. I don't know if you see me or not, but
let's see if we can get him back here a little bit. We'll go to my camera view, and if we hit the in key for the numerics, okay. So Kevin is logging himself out, and okay, as he's coming back. I'm going to add you the stage now, Kevin, and let's see if your mic comes back to us here.
can you hear me?
That's interesting because your mic looks like it's oh
Can you hear me now?
looks
Can you
like
hear
it's responding, but it's not coming through StreamYard. I wonder why.
Huh.
There it is. I hear you now.
All right. Well, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, I had power. I haven't lost power, but it is kind of scary out right now. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. We're just inundated with all that wildfire smoke from Canada.
Wow.
And thank God it's pouring right now, which is what we needed for the last several days to pull all that smoke out of the atmosphere.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of glad that it's raining like this.
Well, I know we need rain here in San Diego because it rarely rains, so we can definitely use the green. I'm going to share your screen again. There we go.
All right.
Your screen is there.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I have to show. I was just talking about those that format, that really wide format done for those cylindrical theaters. But yeah, the clients or the doctors would walk in, they'd hand them a pair of polarized lenses. That's the good thing about the polarized stuff is it's still in full color. It's just a little bit darker because you're wearing sunglasses in the theater, right?
Right.
Oops.
And also we're at the end of the broadcast anyway.
Yeah.
So if anything was going to go wrong, this is the time to do it.
Exactly.
Kevin, thank you so much. You agree that was informative. I like that. In fact, I will definitely be using that in some of my workflows.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool, especially, when you start doing it for real, you're like, oh, wow, this is cool. Yeah.
So I want to see you come back and model those little balls there that we see, those spiky balls.
Well, honestly, this stuff, I bought these things as, you can buy this stuff.
That's cheating.
It is, but, why reinvent the wheel when you don't have enough time?
I hear you, man. Yeah, I hear you. There's no time left.
Yeah, I mean, there is stuff that I have to model, for these jobs. This whole back thing here, was something I modeled. And there's usually other stuff that you need to build, but the stuff that you don't have to build and you can quickly buy, that just saves you so much time.
Yes.
Because you never have enough time to do things.
Very cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast today. So note, no broadcast next Saturday. Next Saturday is the San Diego Comic-Con. Time really flies. And I'm still preparing my presentation. So again, my presentation is next Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. in room 11. And you can find me on their app. Comic-Con has an app, so you'll find me there. And I look forward to, hopefully, if you're there, come and see me, come and say hi. And we will be doing some special little giveaways too. So
Cool.
Our presentation. All right, Kevin, you're great as usual. I would love to see you back here more often. I know you've been a busy person.
No, I just haven't been busy in Blender.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got to get in Blender. Resistance is futile.
Yeah. I have to say I've been, messing around with the AI word.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Which I have to say I hate. And the more you use it as a 3D animator, the more you lose your skills as a 3D animator, is what I want to say. But I have been messing with some things that were interesting, just trying to figure out how to use it in conjunction with
So
3D in Blender.
what are you using?
I have one of the online services that I signed up with called OpenArt.
OpenArt, right?
Yeah.
But what are you using for your 3D objects?
It could be anything. Well, what I was trying out was
'Cause I'm using Triple.
that's for okay. You're talking about building 3D objects.
Yeah, building 3D
Yeah.
objects.
I'm talking about rendering in generative renders,
Okay.
using AI to render, not to build 3D stuff. So I was using Blender to animate real simple things, and then I was experimenting with AI to replace those simple things with more complicated things.
Okay.
And there's some interesting things, because that's the biggest problem you have with AI is you can't control anything.
No, it can't control. No.
It's the slot machine. You put in your quarter, you pull the handle, and you hope for the best. And
Unless they become a prompt master, right? So you know how to do the prompts exactly.
there's no prompt master yet, because these AI models keep changing. The models have to understand what you're saying, so they don't always understand what you're trying to say. So you can be as much of a master as you want, but you're still fighting this technology thing. That's the other thing I don't like about AI is I can't see what I'm doing like I can in Blender. Like I can work in OpenGL shaded views and watch my camera move. You can't do any of that in AI. You have to render it out and spend the money.
Right.
And then find out that it's wrong,
Right. And then do it all over.
Exactly.
So the way I've been using AI in that respect is using it as an inspiration. I don't use it as a final product.
Yeah.
I use it to give me an idea as to how I want to animate, how I want to model, how I want to look, and then take my skill sets and go into Blender and recreate all of it.
Yeah. No, I was trying some things at first. Like I'm on an older machine, which I need to upgrade, I know. But I was trying to figure out, like, on my machine, I can't do like fluid sims at the correct resolution, or else I would just crash my computer every time, or smoke effects or fire effects, So I was trying to figure out, well, can I animate something and then have the AI do the hard stuff, like the particle, the smoke, flames,
That's going to be a problem. Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
And I've had some success doing that. I mean, I could show you a couple things, but you need to probably leave. But
let's save it for next time.
Okay.
So what we'll do is you hang tight. I'm going to say goodbye to all the guests. Thank you for joining today's stream.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see everybody in 2 weeks, because next week is Comic-Con. Thanks for coming. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right.